It is no secret that our traditional savings accounts only offer up like 0.01% in interest. It's terrible. That that'll give you like 50 cents or something. Like it's hardly worth saying that you earn interest on a savings account with such a low return. However, if you ditch these really big brick and mortar banks such as Wells Fargo or JP Morgan, whatever, you'll have a better chance of getting a savings account with a much higher interest rate. I use Ally Bank, ally.com, and my savings account gets barely just over 1% a year. So, by comparison, that is huge. That's so much more money in just interest alone that it would be well worth your time to go set up a savings account at one of these online banks. They're able to offer up a much higher interest rate on your savings account because they don't have the overhead of physical locations around the world or the country or whatever. So it's to our benefit that we start looking into some of these online solutions. Okay. However, you probably are asking yourself, with all of these options, where do I put my money? Okay. So I'm going to give you some advice or some questions to ponder that my financial advisor asked me to think about. Okay. First is, and really, it's, are you going to need the money in your savings account in the next year? What about in the next 2 to 3 years? Okay. What if you need your money in the next 5, 10, 15 years? So the answer to those questions are, if you need your money in the next year, I would say keep your money in your traditional savings account that is tied to your checking account. This is a savings account that I use for my bills and utilities, things that come up throughout the year. It's so much easier to keep that kind of money close by, so when those expenses do come up, I can easily transfer out of it. Makes sense. Okay. If you need your money over the next, say, 2, 3 years, 4 years, that probably means you're saving for a rainy day, you're saving for a down payment on a car or a house, but since it's going to take a while, you probably want to separate that money, but you don't want that money tied up into anything more long term, such as a retirement account or the stocks or something like that. So that's where I would recommend you start looking into ally.com or an online savings or bank institution. Okay. This is a method that separates your money from your regular flow of cash in your checking and traditional savings account, but it's also easily accessible for the moment that you do need to withdraw from it, penalty free. Okay. If you do plan on saving money for the long term, such as investing or retirement, or things like that, meaning you're not going to need your money for the next 5 years or more, then I would recommend you start putting this money into one of these long-term savings accounts. Not to be limited to just the stocks or 401ks or IRAs or the like. There's CDs, there's mutual funds, there's all kinds of long-term savings. Okay. One of those would be more ideal if you're just hanging on to money for the long haul. You don't plan on needing it anytime soon. That's where that money should go. Once you've set up these different savings accounts, I like to have automated plans out of my checking account so that I'm making regular donations into these accounts of mine so that they're not forgotten. And with the help of my financial advisor, I'm able to best allocate my money based on goals that I have. Hopefully this is helpful to you, as I know there are so many options, and if you're close to getting out of debt, you're probably just like me and very anxious to start making plans for what to do with your surplus of cash once you are out of debt. I think it's important to have a plan of what to do with your money as soon as you're out of debt. Okay, even though we're not out of the woods yet, let's start making a plan. Let's start creating future goals for this money so that when the time comes, you already have a game plan in place. If you don't have a game plan ready to go as you're nearing becoming debt free, you're going to lose a lot of momentum because you have no goal, you have nothing on the horizon, there's nothing you're working towards. So if you're getting near getting out of debt within the next 6 months, let's start putting into place some of the things that you need to achieve your savings goals and other goals you have in mind that you've been putting off because of debt. So I would first start with, if you don't already have one of these online savings accounts already, is to start there. Go to ally.com, sign up for a savings account. Build up your rainy day funds, your emergency funds, and then we can move on to some of the investment style of savings. So hopefully this has helped. We'll catch you guys next week in the other video.